Press the bell icon on YouTube and don't miss another update.
What has been the immediate impact of the lockdown on Zomato and its services?
We've been comparatively sort of better off as compared to sort of other companies, given the fact that we are an essential service. So while we have been impacted, I think the good thing is that we've continued to sort of operate and figure out solutions during the sort of the 1 month that the lockdown has been running so far. And sort of that has allowed us to remain productive and continue to serve the people during this difficult time.
Are Zomato's ongoing grocery delivery plans here to stay, or is it only a temporary business till the pandemic or lockdown lasts?
Yeah, so from a grocery perspective, so grocery is something that we started just before sort of the lockdown started. Our mission as a company has been better food for more people, and in that sense, grocery was kind of always part of the plan. However, I think it kind of got accelerated given that the lockdown and the pandemic happened, and we realized that restaurants would be hit. We have such a huge last mile logistic network, second only to India Post. And we figured during this time, now that the restaurants won't be operational, what else could we use this logistic network for? And in that sense, grocery ended up being a fairly sort of obvious choice. For the mid to long term, I think we'll continue to evaluate whether it makes sense for us and whether we need to continue that. I think from a operational perspective, even before the pandemic happened, we were sort of fine-tuning and restructuring our business to become profitable sometime this year. So that will continue to be what will guide us in what we are doing. So overall, looking at businesses that are profitable, that make sense, that allow us to leverage our strength, are things that we will continue to look at and drive.
How are the sales been impacted with the coronavirus?
I think it's different kinds of impact in different category of cities. So there are lots of states and cities where the impact of the coronavirus has been higher than in the rest of the country. In some of those places, the government has taken a conscious call to even not allow restaurants to operate and food delivery not to happen. There we are doing only grocery delivery, and therefore the impact in terms as compared to normal original volumes that we had prior to the pandemic has been is that the effect is much more. Then there are cities where things have been closer to normal. Cities such as Delhi, cities such as Bangalore. I think there the business has been impacted by maybe 30 to 40%. Those have been comparatively better off. So I think it's been a spread of impact across the cities, and broadly we are about 50% down in terms of our volume to what they used to be.
There's a saying, with adversity comes opportunity. How much of that is true in as far as your company is concerned in today's times?
I think grocery is a great example. I think first and foremost, a shout out to the teams, right? Because all of us are at home, and sitting at home, we have created a significantly large business, which is grocery, in just a month's time. So I think the team deserves a lot of credit for how they have all come together and figured out newer ways of working.
But are people still ordering online food?
For a reasonably large segment of folks, I think food is a necessity, and in that sense, we have continued to see a steady stream of orderers who have continued to order. If anything, for the people who are ordering right now, the frequency is higher than what it used to be previously, which kind of reflects in the fact that previously when you were in office, you could have in the food in the cafeteria, for example.
Yeah.
But now it's either you cook yourself or you order it.
What are some of the precautions that your delivery partners are taking to prevent the infection, or just being a little cautious when they're out there on the field?
Contactless delivery is something that we started pre the lockdown, wherein consumers could choose to have food delivered to them, not in person but outside at a safe place without coming in touch with the delivery person. So there have been initiatives on the rider side and the restaurant side. For the riders, before they log in every day, they are supposed to they are supposed to have sort of a daily checklist in terms of whether they have disinfected their bag, whether they have disinfected the mask that they are wearing, and whether they are not suffering from any of the symptoms that we relate with the coronavirus. So these are some of sort of the self-certifications that they do. Just like the restaurants also self-certify that they are following the WHO guidelines for hygiene.
Right.
Related to the masks, so we have distributed reusable masks for all of our riders, and with this and we have trained them in terms of how do they need to disinfect the mask every day before they sort of come out and use it. There's been a lot of work that has gone around educating the riders in terms of the do's and don'ts. The fact that they need to sanitize their hands as much as possible during the entire day. They should be wearing their masks all the time. They should be maintaining distance with the folks at the restaurants, with the other delivery partners, queuing up. So there's a lot of work that's happened from the education side. In terms of some of the steps that we have taken to ensure that these things are done, the fact that if a rider is not wearing a mask, a consumer can actually report that to us and we get that information. So there's a little bit of a what I would call the policing impact to ensure that these rules are followed. So both merchants and consumers can actually send us signals that a rider is not following these. We have set up close to 20,000. We have actually set up more than 50,000 sanitization stations across the country, wherein riders can actually go and sanitize their hands with the sanitizer or at a hand wash station.
But has there been an impact on the delivery workforce strength?
Yes, obviously, right? Because if there are cities that are not operational, so all the riders in those cities, all our delivery partners in those cities would not be able to operate. So clearly, cities where food delivery is not happening and only grocery delivery is happening, the number of people working would be a lot lesser. I think the government has also tried to keep only a certain number of people on the road. So there have been passes that have been given to us, and those passes given by the government have been limited. So clearly, the number of folks working is lower and at some level proportional to the kind of business that we have right now.
What about some of the tie-ups that you're collaborating?
We are operating with a marketplace model, which basically means that we don't have the inventory of the groceries that we deliver. We are tying up with whether it is large internet companies or other larger partners, or whether it's the smaller grocery stores and the smaller kirana stores. So we've got 3,500 partners, including some large, well-known ones. So in terms of tie-ups, I think we would continue with our strategy of tie-up and sort of increasing the supply base for grocery. I think in terms of, so these tie-ups would continue to happen. I think it's too early to comment upon sort of, these have just sort of been rumors in terms of whether we are looking at acquiring sort of anybody. I think overall there's far too much uncertainty in the overall operating scenario. I think those calls would happen in due course and as it makes sense.